Do you desire to become a better version of yourself? My Couch, Your Life was created to assist you in becoming the best version of you and to encourage you to live your best life. I'm your host, Dr. Patricia Busby-Robinson. You can call me Dr. P. I'm a licensed professional counselor who will bring a unique view regarding several topics that will be discussed on this show. A new episode will be available on Mondays at 5 a.m. bi-weekly. If you desire to learn more about the behavioral aspect of things and to have an occasional laugh or two, please subscribe and tune in. Now, even though I am a licensed professional counselor that's going to bring a unique view, I would fully disclose to you that this is not to take a place of a counselor. And if you do need counseling, please seek a licensed professional counselor in your area. Tune in. Let's grow together. Let's plant the seeds necessary for us to grow, but not just planting the seeds. We're going to water them with great knowledge and have fun while doing it. I hope to see you there. Welcome to My Couch, Your Life. I'm your host, Dr. Patricia Busby-Robinson, Dr. P for short. Today we're discussing helping kids deal with bullies. The school season has started and we do have this issue that comes up sometimes in school. I know for kids that are new students at a certain schools or new schools, they're in a new environment. Sometimes they can deal with bullying, being the new kid on the block, right? So we're going to discuss today about helping our kids deal with bullies. A bully can turn just plain events throughout a kid's day into nightmares for kids, right? Simple stuff like going to a bus stop, recess. Bullying can leave deep emotional scars, okay? In extreme situations, it can involve violent threats, property damage, or someone getting seriously hurt. Now, if your child is being bullied, I know as parents, we want to act and to do something to help stop it, right? So we do what we have to do as parents, you know. But you can help your child cope with the teasing, the bullying, the mean gossiping and lessons from to lessen the lasting impact of it, right? And even if bullying isn't an issue right now in the schools or wherever, it's important to discuss it with the kids so that your children will be prepared if it does happen, okay? So what is it, right? What is bullying, okay? Bullying is when peers intentionally use physical, verbal, or psychological ways to torment someone else, using a real or perceived power imbalance between the bully and the victim. Bullying can range from hitting, shoving, name-calling, threats, mocking, to extorting money and possessions, right? Some kids bully by shunning others and spreading rumors about them. They also use things like social media or electronic messages to taunt others and to hurt their feelings, right? It's important to take bullying very seriously, okay? When is it bullying, right? I done gave you guys this big thing. Most kids get teased by siblings and friends at some point, right? If you got multiple children in your home, they get teased. You got this sibling rivalry, right? But when is it bullying? It becomes bullying when it's hurtful, unkind, and constant. It crosses the line into bullying and it needs to stop. Okay. Now, when you got kids in the house, sometimes it's not usually harmful when done in a playful, friendly, and mutual way, and both kids find it funny. That's not bullying. You know, those just siblings or cousins just misbehaving, right? But if it becomes hurtful, like I stated prior, unkind and constant, it crosses the line into bullying and got to put an end to it. It's important to take bullying seriously and not to just brush it off as something that kids have to like toughen out. The effects can be serious and affect kids' sense of safety and self-worth. In severe cases, it has ended in tragedies such as school shootings, suicides or kids having a desire to suicidal ideations, having a desire to kill themselves. They don't want to go to school. A lot of things can come from the effects of bullying, from bullying, okay? Bully. Why do kids bully? Okay. There's a lot of reasons. It could be a mix of reasons. Sometimes they pick on kids because they need a victim, someone who seems emotionally or physically weaker, or just acts or appear different in some type of way to feel more important, popular, or in control. Although some bullies are bigger or stronger than their victims, that's not always the case, okay? Some kids torment others because that's the way they've been treated. They may think their behavior is normal because they come from families or other settings where everyone regularly gets angry and shouts or call each other names. So if they come from that type of family, they're just modeling what they're seeing. Or sometimes you will have, if you look at the family dynamics, a kid can come to school and bully because they're getting picked on at home. Somebody's basically bullying them. So they're doing what they have seen now at school, in the school environment. They are the one that appears to be more powerful. When at home, that's not the case. Somebody is more powerful and bigger than them. So they're feeling like they're getting bullied on. So they're going to come push their power and their weight around at the school to someone who they feel is weaker and less powerful than them. So basically this person at school has taken their place that they feel, how they feel, and is presented at home. And they become their aggressor at home, at the school, in the school environment. So it's like a switching. Okay, I'm the weaker person in my home environment and I get bullied on, but I'm gonna become the stronger person in the school environment. Okay, so you can see that happen. And then some TV shows, promote meanness and stuff like that. So be mindful of what your children watch, because sometimes that's promoting, being mean and saying stuff, and then they go to school, because most of the time they're watching it almost sort of normalize it for them, so they just do it. Okay, so being mindful of that. What are the signs of bullying? Okay, unless your child tell you about the bullying, you may not know or have visible bruises or injuries. It can be hard to know. If they're not going to tell you, you don't see no bruises, you may not know that it's happening. But I'm going to give you some warning signs that you can notice about your kids. Like if they're coming in, for instance, if they're acting differently or seem anxious when it's almost time to get ready for school, or they just, just watch a behavior. If they shift in behavior, don't want to go to school, they're lagging around, there's something that's going on. Not eating, not sleeping well, or not doing the things they usually enjoy. They seem more moodier or more easily upset than usual. They avoid certain situations like taking the bus to school if they're a bus rider. Because guess what? Just like us, if we don't like our job or something going on with our job, we go through that weekend, Sunday come, oh my God, we dread. It's like something inside our psyche or our mind goes off, and we just become, if we haven't dealt with anxiety, or we begin, anxiety will show up. We'll start being anxious. We'll start, not want to go there. The same thing will happen with them if something is going on. Okay. So if you suspect bullying, but your child is reluctant to open up, find ways to bring up the issue. Okay. For instance, if you're watching a television show or something is going on, ask them, like, hey, what you think about that? What you think about this? What do you think about that person should have done? Just kind of get in their head a bit, leading the conversation into it. So you're not almost directly pointing a finger at them to try to get information, but you are gaining information because you're provoking a conversation to kind of see where their mind is about it. Then you may want to talk about any kind of experiences you or any other family member may have had at that age. Let your kids know that if they're being bullied or harassed or see it happening to someone else, it's important to talk to someone about it. Whether it's you, another adult, within the school, like a teacher, a family friend, or a school counselor, or even an older sibling or a sibling if they have it. Just promote that they express themselves and share if it's happening. What can families do? Okay. If your child tell you about being bullied, listen calmly, offer comfort and support. Don't jump. We get so caught up in our emotions, we just respond, and act, and it's not always the best response, right? So we got to maintain our composure, because kids are often reluctant to tell adults about bullying because they may feel embarrassed or ashamed that it's happening, or worry that their parents may be disappointed, upset, angry, or reactive in a just reacting in a negative way. They're not going to want to tell you. Sometimes kids feel like it's their own fault that they look or act differently. It wouldn't be happening. Sometimes they're scared that if their bully find out that they told, it will get worse. Others are worried that their parents won't believe them or do anything about it. Kids worry about if their parents will urge them, push them to fight back. Like, hey, if somebody hit you, I know we all heard, if somebody hit you, you hit them back, right? So, but if you got a child that's not their mannerisms, it's not their characteristics, it's not who they are, they're not gonna do that. So for you to push them to do that, it's like you're pushing them to go outside of who they are as a person. So they'll resist from telling you because they're going to be afraid that you're going to tell them, you better hit them no more, you better fight back. Then they may be reluctant or not tell you at all because they don't want to fight. So, or, they don't want to be confrontational in that way. If they're a kid that do not want confrontation, they'll be hesitant to tell you. Okay. So you'll have to kind of really know your kid, and see how you want to, respond according to your child. Praise your child for doing the right thing by talking to you about it. Remind them that they're not alone, that a lot of people get bullied at some point. Explain to them that whoever the person is, but the bully is, that person is behaving badly, not them. Reassure them that, that you guys together, you and your child, will figure it out together. You're going to come up with a solution. You want to include them into what that solution is. Give them a sense of control, like they kind of help solve the problem. So kind of come together to figure out, hey, what we're going to do. And allow them to have input in that. Because in surveys, most surveys have stated that most kids and teens say that bullying happens at school. So let someone also at the school know about the situation, because they can oftentimes they can watch and take steps to prevent further problems. Whether or not it's a principal, school nurse, teacher, or counselor, you have to most definitely, I would advise that you talk to school officials about it as well, because they need to be aware of what's going on. And bullying can describe a wide range of situations, so there's not a one-size-fits-all approach. What works in one situation may not work in another situation. So that's why it's important to get the school officials involved in this, because you're working on your end from a parent, but you got to also get their perspective and get them involved if it's happening at the school. To have a united front into this thing. Have all parties involved. Many things such as the age of the child involved, the severity of the situation, and the specific type of bullying behavior really will determine the best course of action. However, take it seriously if you hear that the bullying will get worse if the bully finds out that the child told, or if threats of physical harm are involved. Sometimes it's useful to approach the bully's parents, but I would recommend that if you do that, do it in school setting, because most schools have no bullying policies, anti-bullying, policies, things of that nature that it can't be done. Okay. So you can't, if the child parents have to be involved, then I would say they have some type of meet at the school regarding the students, your child and the other student, and the school official can kind of be a mediator between there, that you can allow that they can let this other parent know what is going on, because then now they can work on their child, help with their child to see what's going on, and go from there. Advice for your kids: Parents, we can help the kids learn to deal with bullying if it happens. It may be tempting, like I said, to tell them to fight back. After all, you'll be angry that your child is suffering from this. And maybe, you know, I know a lot of us was told, if somebody hits you, you better hit them back. You better stand up for yourself, you know, but that may not be the best approach for your child. You may worry that the child will continue to be bullied and think that fighting back is the only way to put a bully in their place. But it's important to advise the child not to respond to bullying by fighting or bullying back. It can quickly escalate into violence, trouble, and someone getting injured. So it's best to walk away from the situation if you can, hang out with others, and tell the adult of what's happening. Here are some other ways kids can improve the situation and feel better. Like I said before, tell an adult, teachers, principals, parents, lunchroom personnel, or at the school can all help stop bullying, okay? Avoid the bully if possible, and use the buddy system, okay? You can try to use different bathrooms if you can. Don't go to your locker by yourself. You know, just tell your kid these type of things. Make sure someone is with them and they're not alone. You know, buddy up with a friend on a bus, in a hallway, at recess, wherever the bully is. Offer to do the same thing for the friend. Tell your child to do that. Hold the anger. Tell them to hold the anger. It's natural to get upset by the bully, okay? But that's what the bullies thrive on. So teach your child that, hey, be intentional on their responses, okay? Because it does make the bully feel more powerful if they get a reaction from them, okay? Practice not reacting by crying or looking red or upset. Now that takes a lot of practice, but it's a useful skill for keeping off the bully's radar. Sometimes kids find it useful to practice cool down methods, strategies such as counting to 10, writing down their anger words, taking deep breaths, or walking away. Sometimes the best thing to do is to teach kids to keep their face calm until they're clear of any danger. Smiling or laughing may also provoke the bully, okay? Act brave. Walk away and ignore the bully. Firmly and clearly tell the bully to stop, then walk away. Practice ways to ignore the hurtful remarks, like acting uninterested or texting someone on your phone. And I know you can't have phones in the school, but just walk away, act uninterested. By ignoring the bully, you're showing them that you don't care, and eventually the bully may get bored with you, with the child, and try to bother someone else, okay? That's what you can tell your children. Talk about it. Talk to someone you trust. Tell them to talk about it, such as guidance counselors, teachers, siblings, or friends. They may offer some helpful suggestions, okay? Even if they can't fix the situation, it may help the child feel a little less alone, okay? Now, on the end note, we have to assist our kids in building confidence back, because dealing with bullying can hurt a child's confidence. So to help rebuild it, encourage the kids to spend time with friends who have a positive influence, participate in clubs, sports, or other enjoyable activities to build strengths and friendships. Provide a listening ear about tough situations, but encourage your kids to always tell you about the good parts of their day and listen attentively, so that open communication becomes a habit for everyone. Make sure they know that you do believe them, and that you're going to address the bullying, because kids need to understand that when they come tell us something, that we do believe what they're saying and we're going to follow through with it. So do that with them, because we do have issues when it comes to bullying and stuff when schools start. So take those techniques and talk to your kids about bullying. Just start the conversation, because it is helpful, because bullying is going on in the school, and if they're not being affected by it, I'm sure they see someone being affected by it. So just being knowledgeable about bullying and the effects of bullying, what to do when you're approached by a bully, what to do when you see bullying happening, is all helpful. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed that information that I gave today on this morning to kind of help provoke the conversation about bullies, okay? Because it's a serious thing. Kids are actually committing suicide because of bullying. Kids are not wanting to go to school. It's very bad in some areas, in some schools, but it's happening all over. And hey, be intentional about what you put out today. Enjoy the rest of your day. And remember, the most important person that you can love is yourself. Take care. Bye-bye. If you haven't subscribed to the podcast, I'm asking you to subscribe today and to follow us on all social media platforms for show updates and upcoming guests. This is Dr. P from My Couch Your Life podcast. I want to take this time to thank you guys for listening, for tuning in, and I hope your morning starts off great. Okay, I would like you guys to subscribe to the podcast. I would like you guys to follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook. If you got feedback, if there are topics that you would like to hear, want to discuss, please let us know. Okay, this podcast was truly created for people just like you and me, and I want you to remember, the most important relationship you can have is the one you have with yourself, and the most important person that you will ever love is you. I look forward to hearing from you guys.